Hi, I'm Tom Bowling sharing with you Autumn Splendor today. And we're talking about that time of the year, that seasonality where the colors start to change, the heat starts to wane, and so therefore the colors get stronger and stronger because the evenings are cooler, the days are cooler, and it allows a whole transition of color. Now, when we think of autumn colors, we tend to think of that analogous color harmony of the yellows and the reds and the oranges, maybe sprinkled in a little bit of other, like some purple or something along that line. But rarely do we ever think of using pink into the autumn season. And I want to share that with you and talk about how subtle that really is. Okay, so first of all, in my birch container, as you can tell, I've set my dry foam in here. I'm working a little bit below the lip line of the container, so that way I don't have to spend a lot of extra money covering up all that floral foam. But I've introduced textures in here of the green moss and also the reindeer moss. And that reindeer moss is that beautiful rose tone. So it gives me that pinkish look without being screaming like bubblegum pink. That's not what I want. I can use that color comfortably, but use it in the spring. This is autumn, so I want that color harmony to soften down. Wheat is one of the icons of the autumn season. And what I've done here is to take part of a bundle and just band it together, secured it with a piece of floral tape. I'm gonna open that up and take a couple of my stems from previous projects, hairpin that. I'm gonna put one in this way and one in this way. So I create this tension in there to hold this in place. So I'm going both directions. Now I'm going to open up that wheat, and that's what I love about using permanent materials, is the fact that you can manipulate those without any problem whatsoever. So as you can tell, that's how I've secured that in. So the color kind of pulls that in. I've put in what's going to be a diagonal line. Now, when we think of line, we think of lots of different ways that it takes our eye, and line does that. It moves your eye from one location in a composition to another. That's the advantage of doing line design. So I'm going to create a line that's kind of counter, so it's diagonal. It's not straight, and it's not horizontal. In other words, vertical is the line of stability. It's like buildings and skyscrapers. The line of being the horizon or horizontal line is the line of rest. It's what you think of when you lie down in the evening. You're in a horizontal position. So anyway, that kind of gives you, stability, rest, and diagonal line is the line of excitement. So it's not going either to resting or it's not creating stability. It's kind of one of those undecided looks. That works well for us. Beautiful, beautiful Dusty Miller here. And Dusty Miller, there's lots when you look in the Pioneer Imports and Wholesale catalog, you'll notice that there are lots of options for Dusty Miller. So you choose the one that works out best for you. So I'm gonna anchor that here, bring that to the opposite side, and you can see how this is starting to come together. Set that off. I love these little ears of corn. How sweet is that? It's a novelty look, and that's exactly what I'm ready for. So I don't have to be filled with, scarecrows and things along that line. I can take and just give it a fall tone and a fall feel. Hold this up here to give you an idea what's happening. Now, you'll notice that I'm starting at the base of my design versus starting high and then coming down and through and dealing with what is at the bottom at the end. This time I'm starting at the bottom, and as you'll notice, the wheat is here and the weight of the mini corn is on this side. So I'm, again, keeping that balance in mind. Let's continue with our basing interest. The berries. And again, we see berries in the fall and we think, you know, color and texture and all of those great principles and elements are at play here. Now, I can still see the moss, which is kind of cool, that pink tone, and when we really get clinical about it, pink is a derivative of red, and so we've taken the tonation, we've darkened it down, so the red is related to the orange family. So really, orange and pink do work well together. You know, this is pretty cool, and quite honestly, I could stop at any point from here on. Everything that I add, it needs to be added with a purpose and for a cause. Like I said, at this point, we're pretty secure. I can move your eye from one location to the other. My balance is strong. Everything is looking good. Gonna add a little bit more berry to the opposite side here. Taping all the way down, good mechanics. All right, let's take a look. The wheat balanced by the corn, the berries dissecting again, so I've actually crisscrossed your eye this way and this way in the composition. Does it look like, you know, two strong lines? The answer is no, and I don't want it to be. I want it to be more meandering and go, okay, I get it. I understand why that works when I dissect it and analyze it. Okay, let's go on. Dinner plate dahlias. Whoa, look at the scale, the relationship of one component to another. That one needs to go flat into the design here, into my composition, only to be balanced by these playful marigolds, little groupings of marigolds on the opposite side. And as you look at this and you go, can I stop? The answer is absolutely. I can stop at any price point from this insertion on, because it is complete and it tells the story. So could I add the peonies in here? Yeah, I can. Can I add the ranunculus in? Ooh, why would I do that? To get that fabulous, deep, rich color of the blues. Could I add the oranges in? The answer is absolutely. And when you look at all my components here, you'll notice that it has a very harmonious collection. They all play well together. And then add the addition of the heather. I am going to add the heather in because I want that red that's heavier close to the base. I want that to become a little bit lighter. And I want your eye to just be a little bit more extended, a little bit more, again, whimsical, playful, the movements up there. Brings your eye up and out of the design, so everything's not so heavy at the basing level. And remove that fern. I'm going to impale it back on another stem, secure it with some tape. And I like the way that the wheat has taken our texture and the lightness of that color from the container and brought it into and married the composition. I'm going to add just a couple more things into here. I'm going to add the orange into the center. And the reason I'm doing that is the berries are down at the bottom. I just want to anchor that color a little bit stronger into the composition. I'm hitting those wheat stems. So turn this around, we can take a look at it. Could I add a ribbon treatment? The answer is absolutely. If I did, I would put it in right here, tuck that in to give us that gathered look. And that way then it would have, again, a very abundant fall feel.